Nobody asked. What are they doing?
Hello. Hello. Can anybody hear me, please? Please, if you can hear me, unmute your mic, please. Hello. Can anybody hear me, please?
Solo.
Please, if you can hear me, unmute your mic, please.
Solo, I can't even hear anything. Welcome, Mr. Kingsley. Welcome. Good evening. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Mr. Kingsley, if you can hear me, please say you can hear me. Okay. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Mr. Kingsley. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Can you unmute your mic?
Can you hear me, Vicky? I can hear you.
Okay. It's so low.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Welcome, Blessing Daniel.
Can I be heard?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you too.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. I think my associate coordinator is having network issues. If I can be heard, please, can the person tell me I can be heard, please, so that I can move on?
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
I hear you, sir.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
We are welcome to another great edition of our midweek free masterclass for you guys, for our amazing winner associates. A very important aspect of the business we do here at the Win Realty. Every Thursday, we set out 1 hour or less or more to revive our drive, refine our approach, and get us fired up for the next week. And we have been on a series of questions and answers for the past, if not 1 month now, where we've been answering some very important and necessary questions that many realtors are looking for answers, but most of the time it's either they don't have anybody that can answer those questions for them, or they don't have the articulation to ask the question the right way. Like, let me repeat. So many of the questions we've been answering here are questions many realtors I know are needing answers to, but it's either they don't know anybody to ask those questions, or in most cases, when they see the person that can answer the questions, how to articulate it well becomes a problem. So last week, Thursday, we talked a little bit about, who can remember what we talked about last week? Let me even know how many people are following up. Just unmute your mic, or you can use the chat room. What was the last topic we handled before we answered 2 or 3 questions last week? Can anybody remind us what we talked about last week? Let me see if my people are following up with the series we've been on now. What was the topic we dealt with last week before the questions and answers? Anybody, including the community manager, everybody who can remember the topic we held last week. You can unmute your mic also to answer that. All right, while we wait for people to give us answer, I would like to once again appreciate all the winner associates that have shown up for inspections this week. They have signed up downlines this week, from last week Thursday up until now, and those have also been able to close deals from last week up until now. I would like to congratulate all of you for being dogged in your work and being dedicated to your career as a real estate person. And one thing I always do every Thursday before I go deep into the training is to remind us why we are doing what we are doing. And for many of us who have very distorted reasons why we are doing what we are doing, to realign us so that we can align with a purpose that is bigger and that can lead us to a better future. Right? So one of the reasons why we are doing what we are doing is not necessarily to make money. I know to some people, this is going to come as counterintuitive, because at the end of the day, it's all about profitability. In fact, part of our core values here, the Win Realty, is profitability. So profitability is there, but it is actually the last, and it is intentional. We strongly believe that if you do every other thing right, profitability is assured. And that is why when we come here on Thursdays, like we don't come here to start talking about money, because we understand that there are some things that lead you towards the money. Money on its own cannot lead you to more money. It is what you know and the capacity you have on how to manage and multiply the money that leads you into more money. And in most cases, many of us don't even have enough of this money to start with. So what do you do when you don't have the money in the first place? So it becomes quite very disturbing for somebody who doesn't have money to want to start talking about how to make money with money. No, you don't make money with money. You make money with ideas and strategies and concepts that work. Please, somebody can mute Missy Cage. Yes, good. So you make money with ideas, concepts, and strategies that are workable. That is how you make money. So what we come here every Thursday to do is to align you into concepts, into strategies, into ideas that work. So we're not into what we are doing because of solely the money. No, we are here to become people of value. Because one thing that never fails in the journey towards greatness is someone who embodies value. You will forever be in demand. You will forever command attention. You will forever be sought after. And that is where the real money is. If all the money you're going to make or you're making totally comes from your sweat alone, that means you're not creating enough value already. Let me paint a context. Many of the big names you hear about today, they make more money off speaking engagements, off special appearances, off those kind of honorariums more than the money that necessarily their company pays them, or the salaries they were earning, or their gratuity pays them. They earn more money because of who they are, not because of what they know, or what you understand. They make off money based on who they have become, both based on the value they embody. To make it make sense, based off the value they embody, that is how they make more money, and that is where the easy money, if there's anything like that, comes from, is by how much you have embodied value and how much you have become that career of value. So that is what we are here to become. We are not here just to make money. If it is just all about the money, many of us will literally not be able to survive this because this is a long-term gain. But one thing that always comes with the money mindset is that you begin to lack patience. You begin to have the instant gratification mindset, whereby if it doesn't happen now, it means that it's never going to happen. But that's not the lie. That's actually a lie. Sorry. That's where the lie is. Because for every venture you've set out to embark on, there's always a 3 stages. There is a childhood stage, there is a youthful age, and there is the adult stage. So you wouldn't say because your child is 5 years and he's not bringing money home, it means that the child is basically not valuable. No, that is you being unrealistic with your demand, with your desire. And that's where many of us get it so wrong, because we literally came into an industry very fresh, very raw. We have not been refined, and we begin to seek for the result of those who have been in the industry for, let's say, longer than we are. That is being very unrealistic about your demand, about your desires, about the result you were looking out for. And if for any reason you are that kind of person that has put money forward, it becomes a problem, because you already come with a lot of high hopes. Now, when the hopes are dashed, there is a high tendency that you're going to jump. You understand? You're going to bail out. But that's not what we are here to do. We are here to become. And on the journey of becoming exceptional realtors, exceptional real estate consultant, is a long-term game. Many of us so desire to be called experts. Many of us, you have the capacity to meet people, please. Right? So many of us so desire to be called experts. Many of us so desire to be looked up as authorities in the industry. But it doesn't just happen. It doesn't just happen. There are key things you need to do to become an authority. And based off that, you need to understand that you cannot, it's people that will see you and recommend you as an authority based off the value you've created. So I've seen many people who just stand up one day and begin to, of course, some of these motivational speakers will tell you that you need to tell people what they should call you. Fine, I agree with that. You need to tell people what they should call you. You need to give people the name they should call you. If not, they will name you and call you anything. I agree with that concept. But that is not when you are becoming overbearing. Overbearing simply means you've not been able to let yourself off the hook, and you're calling yourself an expert of letting others off the hook. That's where it becomes a problem. Many people are too quick to be recognized as experts when they are still very much young or still rookies in their line of expertise. And that is not the way to go. You need to come to a point where where you have been able to be incubated so well. You have gone through the babyhood stage. You have amassed all the ideas, all the experience that comes with a baby in that industry, and you have entered into the adolescent and adult. You are also, exposing yourself, making yourself available to embody, to assimilate, to acquire all the knowledge, all the information that comes with the adolescent/adult stage of that journey. So this is something you need to understand about what we are here to do. We are not here to just make money. In as much as, yes, it is what actually certifies that we have done a good job. But you should understand that you don't just go and start making money. You need to become a certain kind of person. I was watching a masterclass on Monday, and it was quite striking for me. The person on that masterclass was saying that for you to be able to manifest billions, you need to be a billionaire inside of your mind. For you to be able to manifest millions, you need to be a millionaire inside your mind. And it is true. I'm telling you from a first-hand experience, it is true. How do I know that? There are some sacrifices that you can make, and I will tell you this person is still struggling to become a millionaire. But there's some sacrifices you can make. I would say this guy has the mind of a millionaire. So you have to call people Dogu, some people call people, Dogu and the rest. It's because of the kind of risks those people are willing to take, the kind of concession those guys are willing to take in. That is what makes them Dogu. That's what makes them billionaires and millionaires. I was telling somebody today that, somebody can...
Stop that rubbish now. Don't be past that
Can
thing.
you mute mics, please? Host, please, can you mute mics?
Brother.
Host, can you mute mics, please? All right, so like I was saying, there are some kind of concessions that you will make, and you will know that you're on your journey towards becoming a millionaire, or your journey towards becoming a billionaire. So as a realtor, the idea is to become, because not until you become that you'll be able to do some kind of things. There's some kind of things that a millionaire will do to a Mr. Gilbert, please, can you mute your mic? Zoom user, can you mute your mic? Vicky, are you here? All right, so like I was saying, sorry for that little distraction. I don't know why they don't want to mute your mic. Please, Mr. Gilbert, Obara, mute your mic. The other guy, mute your mic, please, so you don't disturb us. So, like I was saying, many realtors I know are very, very myopic with their approach. They are very short-sighted with their approach because all they can see is what they can earn right now. All that matters to them is anything they can be able to grab on right now. They don't have, the long-term big vision in view. They don't have anything that is big they have set up for themselves. They literally came into the industry to survive. And if you're that kind of person who literally just came into the industry to survive, I'm sorry, you might not be able to make a lot of money and a lot of value from this industry. I don't know why I'm saying it, but I just have to tell you firsthand and remind many of you that I've always been sounding this to also. You must be a big dreamer. You must understand that it's beyond money. It's about who you are, how It's about how your mind works. It's about how you speak. It's about the kind of environment you always find yourself in. It's about the kind of friends you keep. It's about the kind of things you feed your ears and your eyes with. It's about all these things that come together to make you that high value real estate consultant that people can literally see and say, this person is an authority. This person is somebody I can recommend. This person is somebody that has left a lasting impression at the back of my mind. Now, I was telling a lady today, I was telling her that, see, when you meet prospects for the first time, the idea is not to close them immediately. The idea is to leave a lasting impression. If this is the only thing you go home with tonight, then you have actually learned a lot tonight. When you meet a prospect for the first time, or anytime you meet a prospect, the idea is not to close them immediately. The idea is to leave a lasting impression at the back of their mind. And how do you leave a lasting impression at the back of the mind of anybody? The value you drop while you're with the person. The value. And how you confidently, dropped that value, how you confidently let that value out of your system. That is what leaves, that indelible mark at the back of their mind. You must always endeavor to live an experience with everybody you meet as a realtor, as a serious person. As a leader you must always leave a lasting impression at the back of the mind of anybody you meet. It's called a lasting impression for a reason. So as a realtor, your job is to become that person that when you meet people have very resounding positive review about who you are, or about meeting you, about your personality. It's important you work towards that. Because in that particular secret, in that particular experience, lies referrals, lies repeat businesses, lies all of those things. Lasting impression is an experience you should try to embody. Somebody should not meet you and not feel like, wow, this guy is really, really, vast about his subject career, about his subject area, about his career. This person knows what he or she is doing in real estate. This person is somebody I need to recommend. I need to recommend to my friends. This person is someone that should be able to handle my future investment, if any, in real estate, because of the amount of knowledge, because of the amount of, market and know-how this person has about this particular subject matter. This is what people should live with when they meet you.
On my right foot.
This is what people should live with when they meet you.
That
It doesn't take much to become that. Please, if your mic is on, mute it, please. It doesn't take so much to become this person. It doesn't take so much to become this person. It doesn't take so much to become this person. So please, if you have any questions, you can begin to ask while I round up with my teaching so I can take the questions, right? Now you begin to ask yourself, how do you leave a lasting impression in the mind of your prospect? How do you leave a lasting impression in the mind of your prospect? You might begin to ask. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. Number one is to create an emotional connection with your prospect. Create an emotional touch point. Let there be an emotional connection between you and your prospect or anybody you meet. And by extension, do note that as a business person you are, every conversation matters. Immediately you became a business person, you gave up the luxury to appear anyhow, to talk anyhow, and to live anyhow. You lost that privilege immediately. Immediately you chose to become a real estate consultant as the leader you are, you've lost that privilege, that luxury of talking anyhow, appearing anyhow, and living anyhow. By essence, you should not be seen in some spaces looking anyhow. You should not be seen in some places talking anyhow. And you should not be seen in some kind of places too, hanging out. That is what it means. So back to the number one way to leave a lasting impression at the mind of your prospect when you meet them. Because whether you like it or not, 90 to 80, 90 to 90, 97, 99% of sales that happens in real estate is based on relationship and emotional connection. Anybody here that I've sold before can attest to it. There must be some form of emotional connection. The person must become comfortable with you, become comfortable with their issues, become comfortable with their money before they can transact. You might argue that, oh, this person came from referral, because the person has a connection with the person that referred you to him. That was why he could buy from you or through you. So you must understand the concept of emotional connection. And how do you connect with people emotionally? It's very simple. Very simple. Really, really empathize with them. So empathizing doesn't mean that they are going through a bad situation. They can be going through a very amazing situation. You empathize with them. You applaud them. You recommend their wins. You applaud. You hail them. You show genuine interest in their in what they are going through, be it good or bad. You listen to them when they are talking. Don't talk bra bra bra. I mean, now, one of the laws of power is the fact that when you talk a lot, you lose the power to control the flow of events. When you talk a lot, you lose the power to control the flow of events. So as a realtor who want to be seen as a powerful realtor, as a realtor that should be trusted and that should be recommended, you don't talk too much. Every is, was, then, and now, all those words, they carry power, they carry messages, they carry information. So when you want to connect emotionally with people, listen to them. People love to be listened to. Because even when you listen to me tonight, you love to be listened to, especially when you want to sound intellectual. You will love to be listened to. That is what actually makes that's what makes us humans. You meet somebody, you meet a prospect, or not even a prospect, just any random person that you don't know from Adam. You need to paint the picture immediately. You need to leave a lasting impression at the back of the mind of that person immediately, that you're somebody who is genuine, who is interested in people, and who wants to really, really help people. Really. That is exactly the kind of connection you need to create. So you must always strive to connect emotionally with people in order for you to leave a lasting impression in the mind of people. Number 2 is be memorable. Be somebody who left memories. Who left memories with the person. So it could be you giving a gift. It could be you, just offering to do something for the person. It could be picking up a pen that fell on the plane. It could be anything, but those little touches of help goes a long way to make you memorable at the back of the mind of the person. One of the fastest ways to be memorable is to give a gift. No matter how little it is. Give a gift. Number 3 is be visible. Now, you've been able to establish Communication, leave a lasting impression, you become memorable. The next thing for you to maintain that impression, to keep going, is to become visible. So what is the structure you've set in place for this client to consistently see you and see what you do in order for him or her to keep remembering you? That is what retains or sustains the lasting impression. The impression the idea for the impression is not for you to laugh for like 1 week and end. No. The idea is for you to remain there. That is the idea. You're not going to go and create an impression for you to just, whistle out of the window all after a week or more. No, the idea is to keep it consistent by being visible. And this is where the problem comes in for many realtors. Many realtors have issues with discipline to be visible. They see it as too much work. They go for inspection, they can't flip up their camera to take pictures, take videos, and post. They see it as too much work. They can't literally sit down and think about, oh, what do I do today to be visible? It's too much work to many realtors. And the idea is to sell this message hard enough till it permeates and conquers those things that is resisting many realtors from taking those kind of actions. That is my desire. That is my mission, is to keep selling this message, because not until you have conquered these whole demons that you begin to see the kind of result that many of you are looking out for. If not, you cannot be able to be selling consistently and predictably. Many people here, people want to become predictable sales machines, consistent sales machines, but we are not putting up the kind of effort and the kind of actions that can be able to determine or to make you become that kind of person. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. It has ever worked that way. There's no magic that can make you become a consistent sales machine if you don't first of all become this kind of person that is quick enough to leave lasting impression and retain that impression for as long as possible in the mind of your customers, prospects, and whoever that you meet. So let me repeat something that I said that is very profound. I said earlier, which is this: immediately you choose to become a business person you are currently as a real estate salesperson. If you have been following this series, you understand why I'm calling you a business person. Or if you don't know, you can actually, call me later, but it's not free. I will tell you why you're a business person. Or ask any of your colleagues in the call tonight. They will tell you why you're a business person. But immediately you became a business person as a real estate consultant. Immediately you become a business person as a real estate consultant. You have lost the luxury. You have lost the luxury to appear anyhow, talk anyhow, and live anyhow. No. You are now a brand. You are now an ambassador of your brand as a business. You have ceased to be a baddie as a lady. You have ceased to be a Pablo as a guy. For God's goodness sake, do you know the industry you are? A million naira as in tens of millions kind of industry where somebody would be shelling out 2 million, 3 million to give to you. And you think that if you appear anyhow, the person can trust you. So it is about the kind of impression you are leaving at the back of the mind of people that will determine whether you will be bought from, whether you will be referred on, or whether you are not going to be bought from, or whether they're not going to refer you. It's as simple as that. So the idea is to become it. So first of all, you must learn how to connect emotionally with people, not just your clients. And this heavies so much on character. Because something you have not become, something you have not made your part of you, will become a tough task to implement. Let me repeat, something that you have not made to become part and parcel of you will continually be a stress to you. So, for example, if you're somebody who doesn't know how to comport yourself in public, you're somebody who is just loud-mouthed, you're somebody who is just some anyhow kind of person, it becomes an issue. Because you won't even be able to take up those cues that will let you understand, okay, this is where I need to talk, and this is not where I need to talk. This is how I need to react, and this is not how I need to react. If you're not the kind of person who has that kind of emotional intelligence, it becomes a problem. So it's no longer that you're not hearing the trainings. It's not an issue of bad character. Oh, God. So in essence, for you to be able to leave a lasting impression in the mind of a person, you must begin your journey towards having a good character. And someone that has a good character is somebody that knows how to connect with people. You must become a social animal, somebody who is good at connecting with people genuinely, somebody who understands the concept of human beings, relating with human beings. I keep saying this. It's important. Whether the client is in diaspora, whether the client is in Nigeria, the number one element that plays a role in you closing deals is how far you were able to connect with this person. Anybody on this call tonight who have been selling will still tell you same. Or anybody that think it is not otherwise can also come into the comment section onto the chat room to come and tell us why he thinks otherwise. I mean, this is a discussory class. It's not the one-way, it's not the one-way traffic. Our stand to also be corrected. So you must be visible. So many people are good at connecting, many people are good at being memorable, which is being able to help as much as they can, being able to give gift. The way it becomes a problem is being consistently visible. That is where many people fall through the crack. They begin to wane, their influence begin to dwindle. So late last year, I did an influence analysis with my team. I wanted them to see how much influential they are currently as a people. So many of them never knew that in their whole circle of influence, the people they truly influence is no more than 100 people. Some people is 50 people. After that particular exercise, many of them, their eyes are opened. And that is still the same case for many of us. Our circle of influence is too small for the kind of greatness we are looking for. Our circle of influence. By circle of influence, I mean the people that know you, not the people you know. Circle of influence is the people that know you, not the people you know. Let me repeat. The circle of influence are the people that knows you, not the people you know. Of course, when people know you, there's high probability that you're going to know them, but not in all the cases. Then if you want to now limit your circle of influence to people you know, sorry. So the idea is to increase that number as quickly as possible. And we're living in a time where there is unfair advantage for us as humans. I mean, our great-grandfathers and our fathers that have died, when they see the kind of opportunities that we have today, they will be very, very angry with God or with life or nature generally, because they didn't have this kind of opportunities that we have today. And just like every other generation, there will still be people that will trivialize it and not make the most out of it. But don't be that kind of person that will live in the era we live today, where there is democratization of knowledge. By democratization of knowledge, I mean there is almost 0 to free access to any information you want today. There was a Google, now there's AI. So you don't even have any excuse as to why you are ignorant. So when you ask somebody, do you know how to do this, and the person say no confidently, run away, that person is not, God forbid. I mean, something as little as how to use social media. You ask somebody, the person say no, he's a young person. Leave that person. leave that person. Don't tell him why you're leaving. Just go. So you can actually, leave a lasting impression in the mind of your prospect or anybody you meet. Now, you understand? Now, if I want to go a step further, I will also let you understand that there's a way you can make this, to happen quicker and become more effective for you. And that is because today we have social media. Social media gives you the access to reach more people every day that you can physically. And when you're on social media, what you do also goes a long way to note whether you are leaving a lasting impression in the mind of the people or not. So your first job as a realtor, as a leader, as a business person you are, is to master the art of leaving lasting impression in the mind of people when you meet them for the right reasons, for your cause, for the business you're running. There must be something memorable about you. They should go home that day, reminiscing about this particular person that they met. And I just told you how you can become that person. Connect emotionally. Solve a little problem to the person to become memorable. Become visible. Become visible. It's not too much to ask for. It's not too much to ask. Many of us are. So I could remember also when I was mentoring this lady earlier today, I was telling her that many of us see sales as a job. Many of us see selling real estate. Can somebody mute your mic, please? Many of us see selling real estate as a stress, in quotes. So what I mean by that is that when we step out during the day, on days where we're able to drag ourselves up to go to do real estate, many of us can't wait to just finish the day and go home and rest. So to us, there is a time frame within the day where you need to do prospecting, do sales. If you're that kind of a person, you have not necessarily embodied it. A typical salesperson is a salesperson even when they are sleeping. What that means is simple. Every discussion you're having about anything during the day is about how to close the next deal. There's nothing else you are talking about. That's the life of a salesperson. Every 97% of the calls you're going to make during the day is about your business, about sales. That's how to know a salesperson. Whether you're at home, whether you're at work, whether you're in the bush, whether you're in your kitchen, anywhere you are, your mind is fixated on sales. And it is fun. That is how to know a true sales person. At that point, selling is no longer stress. Selling is now a lifestyle. So if you are a proactive realtor, you must have seen some movies on Netflix, Owning Manhattan, Selling Sunset, all those movies that centered around selling real estate. You see the way those guys make selling real estate fun. I mean, if you have watched any of those movies, you can type it on the chat section. I have. Let me know how many of you have really, really been able to walk yourself up on this journey. So when you watch those series on Netflix, you begin to see people who have made selling a lifestyle. They have made peace with it. They have come to a point where it is either sales or sales. Nothing else matters. Just like when you give your life to Christ, they have given their lives to sales. Nothing else matters. You that is still trying to, do this one and do that one and, one leg in, 3 leg out. Why you are still dilly-dallying? Some people have made peace with it. And when you have made peace with it, there's an approach that comes with it. You become creative about it. Very creative. You become very creative about your business. So you're no longer going to appear anyhow. You're no longer going to talk anyhow. And you're not going to live your life like you want to kill yourself. Become intentional. Intentionality is the driver of leadership. Because you don't know when and where you're going to be beckoned on. So you become very intentional. That is what shows that you are now ready to truly do this sales thing. So why you see me always, centering my messages on the mindset. Many of the things I talk about is mindset. It's because I understand that is the mind that is what you're inside that actually, out of the abundance of the mind, the heart, the mouth speak it. You become from the inside, not from the outside. You become from the inside. So I believe that if you are able to take in enough information that can remove the nonsense belief system that we have been engineered with consciously and unconsciously over the years, then we can truly begin to become. So you need to come to that point where you have made peace with sales. Sales is no longer an 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. activity, or some days activity, or if it happens kind of activity. No, you need to come to a point where you need to make up your mind and give your life to sales.
I'm waiting.
So having said that, I would like to now take questions because we have less than 15 minutes to go tonight. So I'll go to the chat room now to look at the questions we've had.
Any code for you? Yeah.
I will start from Mr. Emmanuel Jegede. Emmanuel Jegede said, after a client has, so please, from what I just said earlier, does anybody have any questions? You can also ask your questions about how to leave a lasting impression in the mind of your prospect. Leave a lasting impression in your circle of influence, be it on social media, be it in physical marketing, be it in events, anywhere you meet people. You must become that person that is able to leave a lasting impression genuinely in the mind of people, at the back of the mind of people. It's important you have that at the back of your mind. It's important you have that at the back of your mind. All right, so if you have any questions, please, you can pop it in based on the little topic we just talked about tonight. So last week we talked about, who can remember what we talked about last week? Let me see how many people are following us. Okay, some people have answered. So we talked about how to become, okay, we talked about last week how you can become that retailer that is easily referable. People can easily refer you, how to live a lasting customer experience, a beautiful customer experience in the mind of your prospect or your client. That was what we talked about last week. For many of you who have forgotten. So the first question we're taking here tonight is that after a client has purchased, from Mr. Emmanuel said, after a client has purchased a property, will they also pay development fees on that property? Now, Mr. Emmanuel, this your question is quite, it has a context to it. It depends. That's the answer, right? And it also depends on the company that is actually, selling that property. So for Win Realty, let me use Win Realty as an example. When you buy a plot of land in any of Win Realty's estate, it is spelled out what that money is for. So our base infrastructure you pay for when you pay for a plot of land is that in most cases you pay for the land itself, pay for its documentations, pay for perimeter fencing, pay for gatehouse. So what that means is this: you are joining other members of that particular estate to fence that estate by paying for just one plot of land. And that gives you security of your investment. And of course, that you know what that means. So that is what most of the properties where Winrity houses offers you at the point of paying for one plot of land. Nobody asks you for extra development fees at that point. But however, when people that subscribe in that estate tomorrow wants to start building, of course they will have an estate WhatsApp group, a community group that will be headed by one of them there. So they will come together and now galvanize themselves and ask themselves, what do we need in this estate? Just like every other estate. Do we need a tarred road? Do we need electric poles? Do we need a transformer? Do we need a sewage system? They come together, you understand, and work together with Winrity. So Winrity doesn't impose anything on them. So if what they can afford at that point is 100,000, they contribute it peacefully, and they can either choose to use Winrity or WinConstruct as their contractor, or they can go outside and take a contractor that will help them to implement that particular infrastructure in their estate. So the Winrity will not come to you and tell you, pay us this amount for infrastructure tomorrow. No, the people in the estate, except there's an exception, except the subscribers of that estate comes together and say they want Winrity to control that system, then we can now come in. Or if they don't want us to, no problems. The only thing we do is we keep managing the estate to maintain quality. That's what we do. But infrastructure and the rest, the ones that the money they paid for one plot of land cannot afford them in the future when they want to start building that estate or want to start using the estate. Of course, they will come together as a community and make contributions, agreed contributions. Nobody is enforcing anybody to pay anything. To move on. Hope that answers your question, Mr. Emmanuel. The next question here is, good evening, sir. What is the right way to follow with prospect for up to 1 to 2 years? What are the ways to build trust with prospects that have not bought from you? Now, this is where it gets interesting. What is the right way to follow up with prospects for up to 1 to 2 years? Is it just keep following up with them? The right way is to just, like I said earlier, what I said earlier is exactly what you're going to be implementing you are not going to implement it at a point and stop. In fact, you should keep bettering on it until they begin to see you as an authority. The question now is that how many of these things have I said today have you done within the last 1 week, within the last 7 days?
This one
how many of the things can you meet how many of the things I said here tonight or have been saying for the past 2 months have you implemented in the last 7 days? Because it's from this little that we get to know how you're going to perform in the long run. So the things I've said here tonight are not for you to implement on Monday and leave it to Friday. No, it's something you have to, like I said, you need to make these things part of your character. Let them become part of you. For example, when you see a banker talk, you know a banker is talking. When you see a politician talk, you know a politician is talking. It's not because they were born with politics in their system. No, they embodied it. It became part and parcel of them. So they eat, drink, and sleep politics. That is what needs to happen to you as a realtor. So you wouldn't come across me and you must know I sell real estate. You must know I'm a marketer. It is a fact. So the people that you're following up with, the most important thing you must do first of all is to connect. So if it's people that are not ready to buy or that are still trying to understudy you, to trust you, the first thing is to do is to create an emotional connection with them. It means that you should find a way to stop talking about land or real estate at that point, right? Since you know that because before then you should have done your very, very aggressive marketing. That's what many of us do. So at that point, you now know whether this person is ready to buy or not, or the person just wants to understudy you. So I believe you must have done your rigorous marketing. The person is not doing what he needs to do. At that point, you need to switch strategy. Become a friend, become a family friend, become a homie. If he's a guy, become a homie, become somebody that he can want to gist with. You understand? That is how to better follow with prospect. And this further goes to reaffirm the fact that you need to learn how to become good at building relationships. So a prospect doesn't tell you I'm not ready, and you bolt the person out. You are bolting your future away, because somebody that's not ready to buy from you might have friends that are ready to buy. So why don't you get closer better? There's so many books on relationship. So please, at that point, when the person is not buying and it's getting up to 3-6 months, switch to a friend, become a friend, but be very strategic. So a friend, make sure you are always talking about real estate, not to him, but on anywhere that he sees you appearing. Make sure that what you're saying is real estate, but not to him directly. You are a friend, yes. When you communicate with the person via call or via chat, you're not talking about, but make sure that anywhere the person sees you outside, you talking to the person is seeing that you are seriously invested in your career as a real estate consultant, as a leader you are. Then you're asking, what are the ways to build trust with prospects that have not bought from you? It's by, like I said, it's by connecting with them emotionally, become memorable by helping them out, and of course being visible. So you have, of course, he's not the only person that will be buying from you. Of course, other people should have bought from you or from your friends. Post their testimonials. Let the people know that other people are also buying. And this is where many realtors get it wrong. They go for inspection. They can't even ask the prospect, to say something nice about the property, even if the prospect is not going to buy from you. But that little clip you've gotten goes a long way. Goes a long way. You post it. So how do you see our estate? Say something else about our estate. Oh, I love this location. Even if they don't like it, they will say it just to make you happy. I love this location. Oh, it's amazing. Look, I love the way the environment is so serene. This is a good place to invest your money. I just came for inspection today, and this is the place I would like to own my property in. Bam! You collect it and you post it on your status, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, everywhere. Blast it, push it. Every day, underline that word, every day. If you're not doing it every day, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your time? Many of you are always online. Are you not ashamed? You should be ashamed. You're online and you're not talking about your business. You meet people on the street, you don't talk about your business. You go to social events, you are quite ashamed about your business. Get out. You need to leave the industry as quickly as possible. It's not for you. We don't need you. We don't need you. So there is the number one way to build trust is to consistently showing up with value around your area of expertise. That's the number one way. Consistently showing up with value around the area of competence, around the area of expertise. If you think there is a magic wand you need to do here and there, no. You need to do the work. Billionaire realtor. Hope that answers your questions. Okay, another person asks another question. Please, how can someone start the journey as a realtor for someone that has no idea about lands or selling lands or the details involved in the making sales? Beautiful. Milana, you are highly welcome. The number one way how to start your journey as a realtor is to start with a community like the one you are in today. I believe some of the things you've had tonight, you wouldn't have been able to hear it if you were not part of the community that cares for you. That's the number one way. Second way is to begin as quickly as you can. So what it means is begin to tell people that you're a realtor. Yes. I sell properties. That's how the second way, and you become loud about it. Because my sister, believe you me, many of us who are already in industry, many of us are lazy. So if you're coming with a lot of fire and doggedness, you are going to win a lot. Because in this industry, out of the 100%, it's only 20% of us that are making money. The other many 80% are just farmsing. No one is called farmsing. They're just, oh, now when they're going for market, when they're going for what they call it again, rallies, they just join up, now those kind of low life, half-baked actions that doesn't really necessarily yield results. So first of all, join a community that cares for you. We have it here, the Win Realty. You are welcome, really. Any question you have will be answered. So don't hesitate asking them. Join a community, become loud about what you do, and become a student. So number one is you join a community. Number two, you become the loudest. Every day you are shouting to your top of your voice, I'm a real talk. Anywhere you are, I'm a real estate consultant. So I help people acquire properties in Port Harcourt in great locations. Every day, everywhere. Thirdly, you become a student. A student simply means you are seeking out, you are asking questions like you are mad. What does square meter mean? Anything you hear. Then number four, always go for inspections, whether you have a client or not. Try, I know for most companies, they will carry it for free. Like every Saturday and Wednesday here, we are going for inspection. So you can always drive down to the office, join up inspections and go and hear. The kind of questions that clients ask and the kind of presentations that the realtors who are conducting that inspections also put out. That's how you're able to grow your knowledge about the industry. Always make yourself available for inspection. Always make yourself available for inspections. It's very, very important. Number four, right, is to always go for industry events. So industry events, I mean, some real estate companies might host, realtors conference. Go there. Connect with other realtors. Number six is look out for realtors that are exceptional indeed, that have results, and go and seek for mentorship. You understand? Then learn how to use social media and how to run adverts, social media adverts. You are good to go. You don't need to go to university to become a success in selling real estate, right? That is how to start well as a realtor. It's not a rocket science. Join a community. After you join a community, what's the one I said? My mind. You shout at the top of your voice that you're a realtor. Number three, you become a student. Ask questions like your life depends on it. Number four, you go for inspection, make yourself available for inspections. Number five, go for industry events. Then number six, you learn, you go and go for mentorship to realtors that have results, the genuine ones, those ones that will be willing to tell you the truth, right? Then number five, learn how to run social media adverts. Then become good at building relationships with people. It has a lot to do with people. So you need to learn how to relate with people. So this is just a rough masterclass on how to start your journey as a realtor. So Star is asking, what are the first impressions you can make to prospect who you are just introducing to real estate for the first time to increase the chances of them buying from you? Now, the first impression you must leave at the mind of a prospect is the impression of how much you care about them. Is the impression of how much you care about them. Is the impression of how much you care about them before their pockets. Please, a client meets you and begin to talk about how, his day has been a bad day. That's not the time for you to even begin to talk about real estate. Or you see a client, you don't know what he's going through, you begin to talk nonsense. My name is this. No, you can introduce yourself, but you begin to say, I said real estate. You don't know the person from anywhere. What does that mean? Is that how human beings relate? So is that how human beings relate? Do we talk like robots? Human beings should talk like human beings. Oh, sir, good evening, sir. My name is Star, and I mean, you look worried. Is anything the problem? They will ask you, who are you? Say, okay, my name is Star. I was just passing. I saw you. I was drawn to you. I would like to get to know you, know what you do, right? I'll get to know you and know what you do. Yeah, it's just there. And many of them will want to, many of them will not want to. So don't get drawn back by those that don't want to talk to you. Believe you. The idea is to build genuine relationships, star. The idea is to build genuine relationships. You can ask anybody. I think you've closed a deal before. 99% of the sales that happens in selling real estate is based on relationship. 99.9. I'm telling you for a fact. 1% is fluke. Maybe the person don't search far until the person find you. So just pay. But 99% of the time, you want to be in the 99.9% so you can be in control. What works? You need to always be on the side of what works, which is build genuine relationship with people. Connect with people on a deeper level, not on the surface level of, oh, this is my flyer, this is who cares about that? Who really, really cares? Who really, really cares? At that point, you're talking to one person, you're not talking to a social media, you're not talking to a group of people like you are tonight. I could literally, because you guys already know what you guys came for. This is not the first time of us meeting. Anybody coming here tonight has an idea of what they're expecting. So I wouldn't come here and begin to want to connect with you on a level beyond what I'm saying tonight. But I wouldn't meet any of you for the first time, begin to tell you something that doesn't relate to what you're thinking or who you are at that point. Because many people are different things at different times of their lives. Yes. Yes. So you might meet somebody randomly and that person is going through a phase. And all they want to hear about is there is hope. Tomorrow is bright. Don't kill yourself. That's what they want to hear. And you're going to tell them that because they look healthy and they are wearing beards and they're in a good car, you think that what they want to hear at that point is real estate. You're going to disappoint yourself. The idea is to connect with as many people as possible. At some point, those your connections become the engine room to your lifelong success in the industry. Because when you've been able to make those people happy, referrals begin to come to you like water. And everybody wants to come to that point where they are recommendable. Recommendation is the secret of sales. At that point, people can literally buy 30 plus from you, 20 plus from you, based off recommendation. Based off recommendation. Because you have proven time and time again that you are somebody who can be trusted, somebody who can be relied on, somebody who can be gisted with, somebody who is genuine about the claims of a relationship. That is how to really, really increase your chances of somebody buying from you. And you don't even have control over that. All you have control over is what you need to focus on part-time. That's where many people get it wrong. The only thing you have control over is how to get people to, to feel about you. It's how you get people to see you, not how they react to you. Even if you understand, the only thing you have control over is how people, the kind of impression you leave in people is what you have power over. So you must learn how to own that power and be very creative about it. That is what you have control over. Their reactions, you don't have control over it. Their response, you don't have control over it. What they will do after that meeting, you don't have control over it. But the only thing you have control over is who they will see you as after that meeting is ended. That's what you have control over. And you must make sure you nail it. You must make sure you bring your best foot forward. That is the only way to increase your chances of anybody recommending you. I'm always heavy on recommendation because I know by data that if you talk to 100 people, it's only 1 to 5 people that will buy from you. If you are here and you think otherwise, you can also tell me. Many of us have been talking to people from January up until how many people have bought? Just a fraction. But if you're able to satisfy that 5 people well, it will marvel you the amount of business you will get from those 5. From the 100 that have not bought from you. Right? So that brings me, I think there's no other question here tonight. That brings me to the end of our training tonight. And I could say this has been a time, really. This has been a time. I really pity those that are not always making themselves available for events like this. because they stand to miss a whole lot. A whole lot. A whole lot. Once again, thank you to everyone that joined us tonight. And before I leave you, I would like to also remind you guys that we are working heavily towards our third quarter incentive, which is weekend getaway of Ziba Beach and Resort in Lagos. Of course, if you have been an avid follower in the group, you notice that we post almost every now and then. Those are almost qualified, and those are qualified already. I think one person have already qualified, which happens to be the COO. So some other people are very close to qualifying to be on the plane with me to Lagos on the first weekend in October. So I mean, we have a great product in-house right now that can supercharge your possibility of being with us on that plane, which is our Urban Prime estate located at the Greater, beautifully, and all of our other estates too, Onyx residencies and what have you. These are beautiful estates that you can sell easily, right? So push yourself, embody these things you learn every day, apply them like your life depends on it, right? If you keep doing this thing, it's a lifelong project. It's a lifelong project. It's a lifelong project. I played a video to my team earlier this year where a particular salesperson flew from US to South Africa on his own private jet. He's a salesperson. He's a salesperson in the US. You know, so you must always understand the fact that you have a gold mine in your hand as real estate to sell. It's a gold mine. Many people wish to be in this our industry, but they don't know how to. They just want somebody to open their mouth and tell them this is what is evident in this industry. And I also said something last week. I said there's a difference between a strong realtor and I think a strong realtors network and a large realtors network. So you might have a lot of people in your circle and you think they're just big, they're not strong. So you must and people also listen to strong version, to a better version of themselves. So for example, you wouldn't come to a realtor who is not doing well better than you to seek advice from. That would be you learning downwards. You always want to go to people who are successful. For you to be able to also endear people into the industry, you must fast track your own success by being an avid action taker, being a massive action taker today, so that in the next 2 to 3 to 4 months, you can stand on a pedestal to inspire others, which is where the true joy in life comes from. When you look back and you see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people are human beings today, are successful today because you chose to say yes to real estate. That's where the true joy of being a human being comes from. Once again, I would like to thank everybody for joining us tonight, and I would like to encourage you to go out there and be the best version of yourself, be an inspiration to many, and of course, close those deals and bring the millions home. And also to encourage you, any of you that want to speak to me directly, please, my inbox is also very much open. My number is in the group, or you can always chat up the community manager for that access. And also to remind you that I'm also taking in mentees on how to run advert, how to do email marketing, and anything that could help you fast track your business. I'm here to help you, and it's not free, as the case may be. I'm trying to work on a platform that could help accommodate as many people as possible in very short time. So once again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This meeting tonight was put together by the Win Realty Limited, your choice real estate company here in Port Harcourt, and of course, Win Academy, our academy arm, our educational arm that helps to educate our realtors and our clients. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. God bless you and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
Thank you very much, sir. Please let's unmute and say thank you to the MD. Thank you, sir. We really appreciate you, sir.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you for the
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You have a nice rest.
All right, good night, everyone. So in case
Nice.
Good night.
Madam Lizzie, you are for
Yes, my pop